85% of displaced peoples in the world are in disadvantaged developing countries. 1 person is forcibly displaced every 2 seconds. These are staggering numbers. While Canada welcomed 44,000 resettled refugees in 2017, less advantaged countries are by and large shouldering the burden of the world's refugee crisis, the largest such crisis we have seen yet in human history. Of the 25.4 million refugees in the world, over half of them are children under the age of 18. Protracted refugee situations across the globe now last an estimated average of 26 years. Millions of children are spending their entire childhoods in refugee camps without adequate health care, without access to education, and often without opportunity. The consequence of this is a generation of incredibly vulnerable young people who every day are being denied their basic rights. Through the redistribution of funds, Bill S-259 would likely mitigate some of the harms experienced by the most vulnerable of the vulnerable. The principles of this bill, as identified by Senator Omidvar, are accountability, justice, due process, openness, compassion, and good governance. Within this bill, I have also identified another important principle, the principle of providing effective and appropriate remedies for human rights abuses. Access to remedies is a defining feature of human rights law, both internationally and within Canada. Our response to human rights violations is not limited to imposing consequences on a perpetrator. Our response to human rights violations also emphasizes the importance of providing a remedy for victims. Through the implementation of Bill S-259, Canada would be leading by example to encourage others to adopt similar legislation. International human rights violations are increasing. However, through the adoption of legislation like this, we can better position ourselves to respond to international human rights violations. Bill S-259 would enable us to provide remedies to victims, and it would demonstrate to perpetrators that abuses of power will not be without tangible consequences. Merci, thank you, miigwech.